6 years old. And so he had lost the use of one of his legs. So he was the only child that couldn't work on the farm. So he had to go to school. He was the only one of his siblings that knew how to read and write, because they knew he wouldn't be able to use his body to earn a living. And as a result, he learned and he read a lot. In fact, one of his first jobs was he would sit in the front of a cigar factory while the cigar rollers were rolling the cigars. He would sit in the front, and this is a common job called a lector. He would read to them. First, he would read the newspapers, then he would read novels. And as a result, two things happened. Number one, he became very learned, very well read. And number two, he became a great storyteller. And he would tell me all kinds of stories about the history of mankind and obviously the movement of democracy, what communism did to Cuba. But my grandfather loved Ronald Reagan. Never met him, obviously, but he loved him. And the reason why he loved Reagan so much is because Reagan believed that America was a special country. And my grandfather understood that America was a special country because he knew America was the only thing standing in the way of other countries becoming like his former homeland of Cuba. So Nancy Reagan's passing today reminds me of the end of that era, 36 years ago when Ronald Reagan became president of the United States. The younger people here obviously don't remember that presidency, but it's amazing even now that I go to rallies all around the country and people are wearing, young Americans are wearing Reagan Bush hats. This is not just about nostalgia. Ronald Reagan was the conservative movement at its best. At its best, conservatism is not about anger. At its best, conservatism is not about fear. At its best, the conservative movement is not about division. At its best, the conservative movement is about the belief in fundamental principles of limited government and free enterprise and a strong national defense and traditional values.